Hey everyone, if you're traveling the Route 66, I have a stop that you gotta visit. Exit 230 off of the Route 66, or also known as the Interstate 40 in northern Arizona, and it's just about 40 miles east of Flagstaff. There's 3 attractions at this one exit. The first thing you'll encounter is the historic ruins of Two Guns Ghost Town. There are so many interesting and incredible ruins there that it'll take more than half the afternoon just to explore them all. This was once one of the greatest attractions along the way to Chicago. It even had a zoo which still exists among the ruins. Make sure to have plenty of cold drinks and don't forget your camera. I guarantee you will want to take a load of pictures at this location. Rumor has it that the actor Russell Crowe now owns the entire ghost town. Next to the ghost town, just adjacent to it and touching it, is an abandoned camp. And though several structures there are gutted, there is a lot of fascinating graffiti and artwork throughout the entire abandoned campground. Completely worth a visit, and once again, bring your camera. In between Two Guns Ghost Town and the abandoned camp is the Apache Death Cave, and that's what tonight's episode is going to be focused around. Even though not much footage exists of the investigation, a lot of weird events took place that night, and I'll let Ken take it over from here.
Thanks. Hey, this is Ken, and originally this was supposed to have been a solo investigation. However, you're going to see that completely changes with a weird event. This is the ticket booth that's just above the cave, and as you can see, there's been a lot of occultic activity taking place in there. Right off the bat, I began hearing noises coming right out of the cave. There's weird sounds coming. There is weird sounds coming out of here. Expecting a great investigation, I worked my way down, across the rickety old bridge, and into the cave. Once inside, I got a very creepy vibe, a feeling that I wasn't welcome and that I needed to leave immediately. And I did so, but to go get another camera. And this is where things start to get weird. I go out of the cave and go back across that rickety old bridge, past the old ticket booth, start heading down the path to my car, when I notice that somebody's walking towards me. When I get up close, I realize it's actually just this cute young lady all by herself out there in the middle of nowhere. And she asked me, "Hey, do you know where the Apache Death Cave is?" And I told her, "Yeah, I just came from there. I'm going back." And so she asked if she could come along. And of course I replied, yeah. I mean, she was really cute. So anyways, I go back to my car, I get the camera, and together we go down into the cave. So tonight's adventuring angel is a lady I have never met before. I don't know who this girl is, so I had to cut out a lot of footage, which is going to make the investigation short. And this is the only photo that I'm going to show of her. And now for a quick history lesson of why they call it the Apache Death Cave. So back to you, Professor.
Thanks. The year is 1879, and a band of 42 Apache warriors was traveling along the Diablo Canyon when they stumbled upon a Navajo camp. According to legend, they killed the inhabitants of the camp and took 3 Navajo women alive as prisoners. A neighboring camp of Navajos found out about it and began to track down the Apaches. The Apaches had hidden in a cave not far from Diablo Canyon at what's now known as Two Guns Ghost Town. When the Apaches learned of the approaching Navajo, they killed the 3 women to keep them from giving away their position. However, the Navajo had noticed a little bit of smoke coming out of a crack in the ground, and then discovered the position of the Apaches. They demanded the return of the 3 women, and when they learned they'd been murdered, in retaliation the Navajo built large fires, one at the mouth of the cave, and along other entrances above. They threw fire down in there as well. The Apache did their best to put it out with water, but quickly ran out, and began to slit the throats of their horses, draining the blood to staunch the fire. But to no avail. All 42 Apache died within the cave, along with the 3 women they had murdered. It was later rumored that the ticket booth above the cave was used as a souvenir shop that sold the skulls and bones of the Apaches found within. And this is how it got the name the Apache Death Cave. And now on to the mini investigation.
In this next EVP, you'll hear something or someone say, her new glasses. And although it could be the girl that I had just met, she was outside of the room, and this thing is growing closer to me as it's being spoken, which pretty much rules her out. And even if it is her, that's still bizarre, because who is she talking to? Let's listen.
Anything in that corner?
No.
Glasses. Anything in that corner?
No. As most of you know, I'm not a big fan of orbs, but this is definitely not dust. It could be an insect or possibly an orb. It makes an intelligent turn. This fresh looking red stuff oozing out of the walls that kind of looks like blood, I doubt is paranormal. I'm pretty sure this is natural. And it did have a strong scent of iron to it.
Sandstone caves are so different than the ones in Oregon.
This is the only spot I see any smoke at.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised the walls aren't more charcoaled.
Yeah.
Of all the EVPs during this investigation, this next one is by far the strangest. Didn't they say it was 1871?
I don't remember.
I think that's what they said that this happened. But they killed 46 people in here.
Yeah, I read that they slit their horses' throats and built them up in the doorway to try to block the smoke from coming in.
Yeah, well, I don't know how they got ponies in here.
And I don't know what happened to the bodies. Did they take them all out?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it said the room was big enough for all of them and their horses. But yeah, not this entrance.
I will definitely return and do a better investigation at another time. However, because that girl was in so much of the footage, it just wasn't right to put her on YouTube without her consent.
And now let's switch over to Houston, Texas, where the USS Texas is located. The USS Texas entered service in 1914. She entered World War I in 1917 and fired the first shots at the Germans. She also entered World War II and served in all three theaters, North Africa, Europe, and the South Pacific, and played a major role in the D-Day invasion. This is also where the only known casualty took place, on June 25, 1944, when a shell struck the bow of the ship, wounding 10 sailors and killing one, helmsman Kristen Christensen. In 1945, she sailed to the South Pacific, where she played a major role in both Iwo Jima and Okinawa. In 1946, she was decommissioned and pulled out of the ocean. In 1948, she went to Texas, where she became a memorial and later a museum. The USS Texas is listed as one of the most haunted locations in Houston. However, the question is why, when only one casualty took place on board? It is not uncommon for people to witness stuff during regular visiting hours. However, if you do go to the USS Texas to investigate, please be respectful to our service members. Do not provoke and do not be disrespectful towards them. And now on to the mini episode. It takes place in two parts. The first part is in 2009 when Ken visited the USS Texas with friends, and the second part is in 2019 when he visited with his children and captured some incredible evidence. And with this, let's get the show underway.
Hey everybody, this is Ken, and when I first went to the Battleship Texas with my friends, it wasn't an investigation, and the second time I went with my children, it absolutely was not an investigation. Both times it was just basically to go explore the ship, enjoy the history, and pay respect to our service members. However, this time I went with my three friends from college, Jacob, Christine, and Bess. And even though we weren't there on an investigation, we kept an eye out for any paranormal activity and paid attention for any eerie sensations or feelings. And while we were doing this, we captured the following evidence during our trip. This is the infirmary.
Did you see the dentist place?
Mm-mm.
One room over there. Which room is this?
This is the infirmary. This is where the sick would be at. Because there's the bedpans right there, so they couldn't get out of bed. And over there, there's the, I see a first aid helmet.
Yeah, I see that. That's me.
So I heard its voice, and it definitely said my name. So here it is again with the pitch changed.
Oh, I wonder then if that's where they would operate then.
Oh, and there it says medical on the blankets.
Over here, Ken.
Maybe it's like a box door.
Yeah.
Box door. Box door. Box door. Box door.
Yeah. More like it turns off all the lights.
Dude.
7 minutes in heaven? Is that what it's called?
Diamond mesh.
Alright.
And it's only a 40 or 50 foot drop down. See, it keeps going after that. I stood on it and I didn't feel comfortable.
On that, and then kind of tumble down.
Huh?
I put my foot right in the middle. Right here's where I put it. It doesn't feel comfortable, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Bess and I are still alone in this room when we pick up this EVP. And that absolutely was not Bess's voice. We pick up this distinct female voice right in the middle of us. And I'll slow down the video and you'll see neither of the girls' lips are moving. It appears this is paranormal. Bess got a door open finally.
Yeah.
That was pitch black
that's what she
inside.
said.
Open the door. Open the door. Open the door.
When I was 12 years old, I had visited the Battleship, Texas, and I could feel the presence of spirits so strong right here in this hallway that I could remember it in detail in my mind. And when I came to this spot, I knew it was time to start recording and paying attention.
Is there anybody in here?
Hello. Although, even on this visit, I could clearly feel the presence of spirits about, I didn't capture anything during the trip that I felt comfortable saying that it was absolutely paranormal. Especially since Bess and I were breaking off from the rest of the group, and I can't tell you what they were saying or doing. However, 10 years later, I would return with my children to this very location at this very hallway and captured all of this incredible evidence that's absolutely paranormal. We were not there to ghost hunt. We were simply visiting the Battleship, Texas when we got video bombed by these spirits. Recognize the hallway? Well, here I am 10 years later with my children. I apologize for the video being so chaotic. It wasn't a paranormal investigation, and I'm just splicing clips together from 2 different visits that I took to the Battleship, Texas. I take my children on a lot of adventures, but never any paranormal investigations. So this was not intended. The footage you're about to hear is a 10-second clip, just loaded, absolutely loaded with voices. It's pretty shocking. The very first EVP that you hear is a cryptic voice saying, "I hurt," and it's stretched out for a long period of time. The thing of it is it's way out in front of the camera. I walk up to it and through it. Alright, well, here we go. Let's start listening. Alright everyone, that's going to do it for these 2 mini episodes. And one of the reasons I did the Battleship, Texas today is that it will be opening in December of 2021. And I don't know if it's just for a weekend or not, but I hope this will promote the Battleship a little bit. So make sure to go visit it. And when you're going through Arizona, make sure to check out the Two Guns Ghost Town and the Apache Death Cave. If you like extremely outlandish videos that are reported to be true, then be sure to check out and subscribe to Mr. Ballin's channel.
Waiting, knowing that these creatures are right on the other side, walking along his wraparound porch. And after a while, he hears the footsteps of these creatures leave the porch and go back onto the gravel area. And at some point, he pokes his head up and he looks, and all 5 are sitting there just facing the house, waiting for them to come out of the house. When they finally went upstairs and barricaded themselves in that room, they immediately heard the creatures move off of the gravel, and they heard a couple of them at least walk onto the porch and start pacing around the porch. And it's totally silent besides the sounds of these creatures. And they were clearly...
Alright, that's it for these mini episodes. If you want to learn more about the Battleship Texas, you'll find links in the description below, as well as links to Mr. Ballin's channel. Be sure to subscribe and to watch some of these other videos. And now, we're off on another adventure.